Trojan Sports Now.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Jahmal Kennedy.
And I'm Khadijah Torbert. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Athletics. Rivalry week ended on a sad note for the Trojans as South Alabama took home the victory in the Pro Sun Belt Conference belt. I have the highlights from this year's blackout game. The Troy football team lost to in-state rival South Alabama 24-18 Saturday night in Banners Memorial Stadium.
Obviously disappointed. Appreciate the crowd for showing up. And what I hope turns out of this can be a turning point for our season, because I stress details. Our coaching staff stress details, because this has been the first even matchup we've played. This has been the first time we've played somebody that's a pretty even matchup. And so what we got to do is we got to look at that film and say, hey, guys, listen, attention to detail wasn't done. You know, and here's the deal, too, is it all starts with me. I didn't coach well enough to win the game. We didn't coach as a staff well enough to win the game, and that's it.
Coach Neil Brown thought the Troy defense was ready for the Jaguars, but for the offense, 6 drops just didn't cut it.
Played good enough to win on defense. We bent a little bit, but we didn't break. And then offensively, we just didn't get anything done. We were undisciplined. As disappointed as in a performance offensively as I can remember. The lack of attention to detail was glaring. We had 6 drops in the game. 6 drops, 2 of them on third down. Quarterback
Brandon Silver seems to be getting the backlash from this game due to 3 thrown interceptions.
I think he was off tonight. I think that's a fair assessment. Like anything else, it's not always the quarterback's fault.
Just better decision making. I had 3 interceptions. I think I had 3 interceptions last year. That's probably the worst game I played. I wanted to play, very well in this game, and I didn't do that at all. And it's just tough. Just a tough loss. This is a big game, and your top performer is supposed to step up in the big games, and I didn't do that.
And although head coach Neil Brown knew the South Alabama Jaguars would be a challenge for the Trojans, he did not expect so many penalties that ultimately determined the outcome of this game.
Trojans could not hold it together against the South Alabama offense, resulting in a loss for the Trojans in the Sun Belt Conference opener Saturday night.
We focused on 2 things going back to the start of January, and the first one was turnover margin, and the second one was penalties. And we didn't win either of those tonight. I know we had at least 3 turnovers. They had 1, I think, maybe 2. We lost the turnover margin. And then penalties. We had too many penalties, and they were crucial penalties.
Even coming off a bye week, head coach Neil Brown said the Trojans just couldn't execute tonight.
I give a lot of credit to them. They had a bad loss last week, and they came in here and played hungry. They played like they were coming off a bye week, and they were hungry. I thought they played more disciplined than we did, and I thought they did a nice job in the game.
A major play by wide receiver Jarvis Bentley was called back in the 3rd quarter that could have resulted in a lead for the Trojans over the Jaguars.
Called us for a lineman downfield, which I have to look at it. There's been an awareness on that since the Alabama-Ole Miss game. Not sure that should affect us, but I think there's been a nationwide look on it. We got called on it. Touchdown got taken away. That's all I can say.
Ultimately, South Alabama held Troy to 3 points in the second half that clinched the victory for the Battle of the Belt.
We had opportunities to win the game. They took advantage of their opportunities. We didn't. We're 4 games into a new staff, some new schematics on offense, a new scheme on defense, and offensively haven't got it together.
South Alabama led a high-scoring first half, 21-15, but both teams had difficulty mounting substantial drives in the second 30 minutes. The Jaguars had a pair of threatening drives in the 3rd quarter, but came away with just 3 points, converting on 1 of 2 field goals. South Alabama ran the ball 52 times for 163 yards.
The Trojan soccer team was back in action this past weekend in Louisiana and wasted no time bouncing back from their loss to South Alabama. The Trojans kicked off the weekend with a 1-0 win on Friday against Louisiana Monroe. Troy fired 14 shots in the game, but none more important than the first that found the back of the net. Chelsea Williams found Alyssa Jones at the top center of the box, who placed it to the right of the goalkeeper for the goal in the 3rd minute. Mickey Lewis had 8 saves on the night and earned 4th shutout for the season. Jones led all players with 6 shots, 5 landing on goal. The Trojans pushed their win streak to 8 in a row against the Warhawks.
And the soccer team kept the win streak alive on Sunday afternoon at the Ragin' Cajuns soccer facility. The Trojans defeated UL Lafayette 1-0. A couple of freshmen jumped onto the scene in the 66th minute of the game. The first goal came when freshman Robin Ann Whitaker scored the go-ahead goal and her first career goal as a Trojan. Whitaker took the pass from freshman Brooke McKee and placed the ball right up in the left corner of the goal. She led all players in the game with 3 shots, and the Trojans as a team fired 16 total on the night. The 1-0 win against goalkeeper Mickey Lewis's 5th shutout of the season. Head coach Jason Hamilton says that his team was a sight to see as the team fought back and gained the victory.
You know, Friday night, probably one of the worst games I've seen our team play since I've been here, and then Sunday, one of the best games I've seen our team play since we got here. So they really turned the corner, and Sunday games are extremely tough, especially when you travel, having to be on the road for 3-4 days. So the way that they bounced back and the way that they played on Sunday was absolutely amazing. It was enjoyable to watch, to just sit back and let them control the game. And 1-0 was the scoreline, so it seemed closer than it was, but 82 minutes into the game, we'd only given up 2 shots to Lafayette. So, at the end, Lafayette threw a lot of numbers forward, and we kind of defended that last 8 minutes, so they got 3 more shots. So, even to only give up 5 shots in the 90 minutes, it was a really good defensive performance.
On Friday night, the Trojan volleyball team hosted Georgia State, and after an 0-4 start in conference play, the team earned its first conference win of the season. Rachel Wilkerson takes us courtside to Friday night's matchup.
The Troy Trojan volleyball team defeated Georgia State for their first conference win.
Getting the first conference win, you can't get the first conference win until you get it. So we had a great crowd. It's always fun to play at home. We knew that this was a really important match for us tonight. Both teams were looking to get their first win in conference, and we came out and played really, really well in the first game.
The Trojans' hard work and practice to get prepared for the big game paid off.
We need to learn from tonight's match, and we need to continue to get better. And I'm proud of our team. We asked them to do a lot this week in practice with mental preparation and with physical preparation, and they did everything we asked. And it's always good to be rewarded when you work hard.
Juniors Leah Cossey and Sarah Landis led the offense with 11 kills.
The crowd was amazing. We fed off their energy, and it was really fun to play in. It feels great. Just knowing that everybody on our team came out and executed was a great feeling, and it's awesome to know that we got a conference win, I guess.
Normally I just go out there and I'm pretty chill and I just do my job, and I think that's what I did tonight, but I did it with more energy.
The Trojans play their rivalry match Tuesday against South Alabama in Trojan Arena at 6 p.m.
So now we can try to be ready for Tuesday night against South Alabama. Huge match, rivalry match. Amy does a great job down there, and we're going to have to make sure that we're ready on our end because they're really good. And it's going to be a battle. It's going to be, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes and who stays aggressive. And
Rachel Wilkerson, Troy Trojan Vision Sports.
The volleyball team secured another conference play win against South Alabama on Tuesday night. Rachel Wilkerson brings us the highlights of Tuesday's victory battle.
Tuesday night, the Troy Trojan volleyball team defeated rival South Alabama with an energized crowd in Trojan Arena.
First off, it was a great atmosphere. We appreciate all the fans coming out and supporting us tonight. The Sound of the South is always amazing. Cheerleaders, all the athletes that came out and all the fans from around the city. And it's a big win. I mean, having it be our rival come in, hard-fought match to begin with.
South Alabama challenged the Trojans with 5 sets, but the Trojans came out on top with the win. The Trojans needed this win to solidify a good spot in conference.
Our history with 5th sets tend to be all over the place, but this one we actually came out and we worked hard and we came out strong, which was one of our goals from the beginning of the game, to come out strong each set, and the fact that we really finished that 5th game, it's really something to be proud of.
We didn't want to go to a 5th set. Obviously, we probably should have done it in 3 or 4. But you know what? It's a rivalry game. It was really intense. They had a couple good plays, and they're not a bad team at all. So we definitely weren't surprised that we went to 5.
The Trojans worked hard to keep up a good momentum and never gave up to make plays.
I think at literally mostly every point, we were always out hustling them on defense, outworking them on offense, picking up scrappy plays that should not have been picked up. But that was just our perseverance during the whole entire game. Just keep going when we're tired and keep putting in energy and keep working hard. We definitely worked harder than them in every aspect of the game.
Friday night in Trojan Arena, the Trojans hope to win another conference match as they take on Louisiana Monroe at 6 p.m. and Louisiana Lafayette on Saturday.
Monroe's had our number. They've beaten us the last 3 times we've played them in 5, and we really need to make sure that we're prepared for them going into Friday, and then you have Lafayette coming in on Saturday, and they're a good team too.
Rachel Wilkerson, Trojan Sports Now.
With the score tied 3-3 in the 5th set, Troy scored 4 straight points to take a 7-3 lead, just ahead of calling a timeout from South Alabama. The Jaguars got within a 9-7 score, but Troy routed off 4 more points and took control to take a 15-8 final set win.
And more victories over the weekend from both the men and the women's cross-country teams. They left the JSU Footshill Invitational on Saturday morning with several new personal best times over the 5K and 8K distances. The Trojan men claimed third in a field of 7 teams while placing 3 runners in the top 20. Freshman Brennan Gurias finished 11th, sophomore Dylan Oberg 14th place, and junior Tim Bugler in 18th place. And for the women's, sophomore Sarah Zelster finished 18th place, senior Julia Ostendorf finished in 2nd, and Julia Katrina Bokenford, who broke 20 minutes in 5K for the first time.
7 Trojans were in action on Sunday for the Troy men's tennis team in the singles portion of the St. Francis Health System ITA Men's All-American Championships. Pablo Marino and Francisco Yim Kim both won on Saturday, but weren't as successful on Sunday, both losing in the 3rd round. Senior Giovanni Samaha led the way for the Trojans on Sunday, cruising to a victory against Arkansas's Jacob Herndon. Senior Daniel Bustamante and sophomore Stefan Chagalu both won in straight sets, while Vaslav Slizak won in 3 sets. Marino and Samaha both continued play Monday, competing in the qualifying draw in the doubles portion tournament.
But 2 players of the tennis team, Pablo Marino and Giovanna Samaha, lost in the 3rd round of the doubles qualifying draw at the St. Francis Health System ITA Men's All-American Championships on Wednesday, ending Troy's run at the prestigious tournament. The Troy duo cruised through the first set against Charlotte's Birkin Hundles and Jordy Macho-Ferrer, but the rest of the match was a grind in which the 49ers outlasted the Trojans 2-6, 7-5, and 1-0.
Although we're in the middle of football season, work has officially begun for the Troy basketball teams. The Troy men's basketball team opened up their team practice and took to the court in Trojan Arena on Monday morning for the beginning of their first day. Their season begins on November 5th with an exhibition game against AUM. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. The Troy women's team will also play the same day, as they will host Stillman in an exhibition game at 5:15 p.m. The Lady Trojans have just over a month until their season opener, when West Alabama visits Trojan Arena on November 13th at 12 p.m. Between now and then, Troy will host Basketball Fan Day on Tailgate Terrace before the Trojans' homecoming football game against Idaho on October 17th.
Still to come on Trojan Sports Now, we'll have a preview of Troy football preparing for Mississippi State.
But first, Ron Renfro sits down with goalkeeper Mickey Lewis. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now.